And the black church votes predominantly for the party that is anti-God. What's going on here? But somebody needs to stand up and speak to the black church. When the largest African American Pentecostal denomination, when that leader stands up and said, I endorse that woman, he was saying, I endorse murder. I endorse homosexuality. I endorse lesbianism. I endorse transgenderism. I endorse every evil that hell could prosper or bring up to the right. That's wrong, folks. I can't support a party that murders babies. I can't support a party that believes in men marrying men and women marrying women. I can't support a party that believes in mutilating little girls because their minds are confused over their gender. I can't support a party that doesn't believe in the Word of God. Can't do it. Will not do it. I refuse. I cannot support a party that wants to remove the influence of the church from society. Without the church, this nation would be nothing more than an animal crawling jungle. And if you don't believe me, you go to our major cities of America that have been governed and are governed by members of that party. It is a zoo. Crime runs rampant. Citizens fear for their lives. Can't do it. And as a Christian, you can't do it either.
Christianity can eradicate racism. And Democrats, for me, it's a very demonic party because they are trying to please people. Countries like Zimbabwe, they suffered because of Barack Obama's administration. Putting more sanctions and making Zimbabwe suffer. The black church is big in number. They try to go to black churches and influence black people to vote for them. Hello friends, welcome to Community Podcast. I'm so excited that you have joined us today. I'm so excited that, those that keep on watching are keeping on watching. And I'm excited that this content is helping my fellow Christians and brothers and sisters in the Lord, and also those that are still trying to get into the journey of Christianity. Community Podcast is for everyone and it's open, but we want to be able to address issues that affect the church and issues that the church is supposed to affect worldwide. So it's not only in the USA or South Africa or anywhere, it's just worldwide. So anything that affects us, we need to be able to put on the table and be able to discuss and share some thoughts. So I have been, thinking about church and politics, right? Church and politics. And when we look in history, we realize that when the Roman church was involved in politics, there was so much damage that has been done. There's a good and the bad, but there's so much damage that has been done. And out of that, we find atheism because of the wars that has been happening and the sicknesses and all that. Because of the church, we find atheism popping out, But other than that, I find that when it comes to elections, South Africa has just went through their elections mid this year or early this year, and now America is going through their elections. So my issue is that there are no organizations. If you focus worldwide, there are no organizations that assist or fight for Christianity. When I mean assist or fight for Christianity, I mean that there are no organizations that contend for Christian standards and beliefs. When you go to the United States, we look at Democrats, and Democrats, for me, it's a very demonic party because they are trying to please people. So, their values and policies are really based on humanism than they are religious, right? So you look at the issue of the introductory of teaching about kids about gay, lesbian, LGBTQI in schools, and certain schools adopting that, trying to tell kids who they are. You are not a boy, you are a girl, and so forth. That is demonic, and not only that, but there's a lot of things. So they're trying to be inclusive. And now what they do is that because the black church is big in number, they try to go to black churches and influence black people to vote for them. And for me, that's not right, and we see a lot of black people voting for people like Barack Obama, for instance. Honestly, in the beginning, the whole world was excited when Barack Obama became president. But when we started to research and notice after his presidency, we noticed that, countries like Zimbabwe, they suffered because of Barack Obama's administration. Putting more sanctions and making Zimbabwe suffer, not getting food, not being able to trade, not able to do stuff. That was a difficult point of Zimbabweans. And now they have to go out of the country to look for work. And whose fault was that? Democrats. And a lot of people now, that is a Donnie Swaggart or something, when he spoke about to the black church, and the black church was so angry, but he was right. Democrats in totality, it's demonic. It's a demonic organization. It's inclusive, and the church now, it's falling prey to it because of this thing that, no, I'm voting for a black woman. We are making history, but you are going to suffer other African countries and other countries which are which are third world countries, which America is trying to take advantage of. You need to be able to think about that. And also, we look at Republicans. They say that they're Christian. They say that they're conservative. They say that they want to put things into order. But at the same time, it's a racist organization. Let's be honest. It's a racist organization, and it doesn't work and serve black people. So in America, what should you do? Build another organization. I believe that black people need to boycott elections and maybe try and drive their point forth that they want to be able to have their own organization so that they can contest for presidency. A black dominated, Christian dominated party which will fight for the rights of black people and the church. That's what they need to do. So I believe black people and Christian people in America, they need to boycott elections so that they can be able to sit down and re-strategize and write policies that will work for Christians and be able to build from there. When we step into South Africa, we look at the likes of ANC. ANC is the same as Democrats. DA is the same as Democrats. They are trying to be inclusive, and the more they try to be inclusive, the more they introduce all these different things that we don't want as South Africans. We're not interested. We have so many problems in South Africa that we would focus on LGBTQI. We have so many problems. We don't want, we are not interested in gay people canvassing in our streets and dancing and showing off their private parts and dancing like I don't know what. We are not interested in. What we are interested in is building a country that will be able to give people employment, that will be able to create housing, that will be able to have affordable healthcare. That's what we need. And now black people can't get those things. Because why? We are busy dancing around with LGBTQI. We are busy voting for ANC, which doesn't care about black people or churches. They are busy, corruption and all that. So all these things are just so demonic for me. So we need to be able in South Africa, in the USA, in the UK, wherever, we need to be able to sit down and restructure our government constitutions, and we need to be able to restructure these organizations and parties and be able to start our own organization and say that this is a Christian organization which will fight for Christians in this particular country. And as we do that, we'll be able to grow and we'll be able to influence our education system, our health systems, housing systems. We'll be able to influence our social systems, so that we as nations will be able to grow under theocracy, under the leadership and the guidance of God. So now people like Donnie Swaggart, if I got it right. If I got it wrong, I apologize, but I'll write it down in the comments below. They stand up and say that, hey, black people, be wise, open your eyes. These people are using you. And he's right. That's what the Democrats are doing. So we need to be able to open our eyes and do things differently. Guys, that's all I wanted to share. Make sure that you hit the subscribe button, hit the notification button. Let's grow together. As a church, let's open our own organizations that will help in aiding our health system, our education system, our social lives, and everything abroad, so that we can be able to influence everything around us. As a matter of fact, the truth is, when America coughs, the whole world gets a fever. So we need to be, if it starts in America and they say no, and like we are opening up our own Christian organization, we are boycotting elections, we want this organization to be able to join the debates, we want these organizations to be able to take part in elections, then we will see change. Remember, Jesus was a reformer. Jesus went in a space of teachers when he was a child, and he spoke to them and he surprised them. And when he was an adult, he debated with them and he shared the word of God. When they said stop doing 1, 2, 3, 4, he would do it. Why? Because he was a reformer. He believed in organizational change. He wanted to change the system in their social sense. He wanted to change the system in a political sense. He wanted to bring growth. If you study history of Christology, you'll be able to understand what Jesus did. And now we are failing him because we are allowing parties like Democrats and Republicans and ANC, DA to be able to do whatever they want in our countries, in our churches, in our families, because whatever they do affects us. So we need to be able to stand up and say, hey, let's build our own organization. And let it be a Christian organization. Let it stand for Christian, beliefs and policies, and let us put it forth and fight for Christianity in our country, so that the world can be able to know that Christians are not here to play. We want people to be saved, and we want people to receive Christ, and we want people to live in harmony. Christianity can eradicate racism. That's where I'm stopping. Thank you so much. Make sure that you hit the subscribe button. Make sure that you comment down below. Let's grow together.